And if you haven't voted in the Marsupial of the Year competition, get to it, because right now our most endangered native wildlife needs your help. And it's never been more important, with another 20 species added to the threatened list just this week. On the night of September 7, 1936, the last Tasmanian tiger, also known as the thylacine, took its final breath, wiping it from existence.
It's such an iconic animal and one that we shouldn't have lost.
A lot of the settlers in Tasmania really focused on hunting and the bounties associated with the thylacine, which unfortunately drove that species to extinction.
Australia has one of the worst animal extinction records in the world. Over the past 200 years, more than 100 of our animal and plant species have become extinct. 2,245 species are currently listed as threatened.
There are 25 species that the best available science tells us have a greater than 50% chance of going extinct in the next 20 years.
Habitat destruction, climate change and invasive species are wreaking havoc.
They're the canary in the coal mine. What is happening to our threatened species has broader implications for the rest of our society and our economy, from the pollinators that provide us with food and fibre to the trees and forests that filter our water and clean our air.
Which is why conservationists are racing against time to bring threatened species back from the brink. Like the Victorian grassland earless dragon. The species was thought to be extinct until an incredible discovery in January last year.
Lo and behold, the species was rediscovered, and for most of us it was pretty much a career highlight and something we never thought we would see. So we've established a conservation breeding program and an insurance population for that species.
As more species stand on the edge of oblivion, scientists reckon it'll take about $2 billion a year to protect and restore them.
Our species are declining at 2% every year, which may not sound like a lot, but if our stock market was declining at that rate, we would have an emergency response from our political leaders, and we don't see anywhere near that level of attention or focus when it comes to the thing that is central to Australia's identity, which is our beautiful natural wildlife.
Helping raise much-needed funds, the Marsupial of the Year competition. Voting is now open and all money raised goes directly to organisations fighting to save our wildlife. But money is just one part of the equation.
If we had better environmental laws, we could protect the critical habitats that our threatened species rely on and make sure that they're not destroyed. And there's things that everyday Australians can do in their choices about where they shop and the products that they buy.
Tomorrow is Threatened Species Day and we're being reminded to learn from history.
Extinction is a choice that we make, that our leaders make when they choose not to invest in threatened species conservation or when they choose not to put forward the reforms that are needed to protect the places and wildlife that Australians cherish. It's really vital that we value and protect our native biodiversity, because once it's gone, we've lost it forever.
Yes, indeed. So Threatened Species Day is tomorrow and is commemorated by the day we lost our last thylacine. So while it's not on the list, because it should be, because they're still around, don't forget you can go to marsupialoftheyear.com.au to cast your vote. If you're a school, schools at marsupialoftheyear.com.au. We want to know what you're doing. Maybe sponsor an animal yourself, get behind it. We need to... You haven't picked one yet, Susie.
I haven't picked one, but I've narrowed it down, I think.
Do.
Obviously...
So, words of advice, stay away from marsupial mole.
Okay, yes. No, I have heard
that poor blind little
Samuel
creature.
Taunton,
Yeah,
he's
I know.
obsessed with that thing.
It's a little bit...
It's a bit odd.
Calling it a
unhealthy,
thing,
yeah.
not helping.
Oh,
No, but yeah.
Living, breathing marsupial that
There we go.
deserves love.
So I've narrowed it down. Obviously, numbat was
Yes.
great word.
Yeah.
Its tongue is half the length of its body.
Cute.
Boom.
All right, stop flirting. Quokka, amazing.
Oh, yes.
Love a quokka, smiling quokka. This is now just me thinking out loud, but the most ripped of all of the marsupials is the red kangaroo, so...
Oh, just get a flex going.
Yeah. Have you seen them?
Have I not seen it?
Yeah.
It makes me wish I had a tongue the length of half.
All right.
Whoa!
Okay.